All right, guys, we got CPI inflation data coming live today, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hey, we got almost 100 people waiting here at 7 a.m. in the morning, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Oof. Cheers to you guys, man. NASDAQ up big over the last 24 hours after the president paused tariffs. And yeah, tariffs paused 90 days, except for China, 125% tariffs. The real question is, do we get a deal made regarding overseas? There is a tariff update this morning. The president ups tariffs on China, lowers worst offenders tariffs to 10% for 90 days, and leaves Mexico-Canada policy unchanged. Europe paused tariffs on the U.S. as well here. What do you guys think? What's up, trading? What's up, LO? Yeah, I mean, if we get lower inflation data today and it looks more likely that we're going to cut rates and get out of this economic fear market, then market will probably go up. The other side of that, though, is if we get high inflation today, if we get high CPI inflation, the market might not necessarily react favorably to that either, so you just want to be careful. You just want to be careful. Let's put a timer up. We got an hour and a half until the data comes out, about an hour and 26 and a half minutes or so. Yeah, that's about right. All right, this timer's a little bit early, as we always put it, but let me change this. We got full CPI breakdown. All right, so it's CPI today is expected at 2.6%, I believe, right? Core is expected at, let me see. Yeah, core CPI. We also have jobless claims, unemployment. We got a lot of stuff, honestly, dropping today. Core CPI year over year expected at 3%. Here, I'm going to put CPI month over month is expected at 0.1%. Core CPI month over month expected at 0.2%. We also have jobless claims expected at 223K. So we got a lot of stuff, honestly. We got CPI inflation, jobless claims, all that stuff going live. I'm trying to find room to put all this stuff on screen, but we're kind of running out of it here because we got so much stuff dropping at 8:30 today, economics data wise. I'm going to have to shrink this. There we go. All right, so here's the full reports going live today. I'll lower this a little bit here. Can I? Here, hold on. That looks pretty good. 70s. That's perfect. All right, we'll keep it like that. All right, and again, you can kind of see bond yields I don't know what they're going to be doing when they open up. I have to go check them. SPY down a little bit overnight. NASDAQ down a little bit overnight. NVIDIA down a little bit overnight. Hit 114s. 114s. Yeah, we'll see if we get pumps or dumps. I don't know. Why are futures sliding? I think for a couple of reasons. I think number one, we had such a big reaction to the 90-day tariff pause. Such a big reaction to the 90-day tariff pause yesterday that, you know, we're rarely going to hold all those gains, right? We still have tariffs on the table too. Like I don't, like, okay. Again, just to put this into perspective, so tariffs on China are 125%. That's not good, right? That's just not good. We got to get some type of deal made. They lowered the worst offenders' tariffs to 10% for 90 days. They left Mexico and Canada unchanged. And Europe looks like it's working with us, pausing tariffs on the U.S., right? And so Europe tariffs are going to be fine. China tariffs are going to be the worst. Mexico, Canada tariffs are going to be unchanged. And that's where we're at right now, basically. Bank of England announces in light of recent market volatility, the bank will amend the schedule and auction short maturity bonds on April 14th instead of long maturity bonds. Yes, this is all at 8:30. Jobless claims, CPI, all 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. CPI's consumer price index is inflation data in a period of markets in which inflation data is incredibly relevant. The real question I have is, are you buying the dip in anything, chat? I'm trying to look at some stuff to see what I want to buy here. Target's had a terrible year. I kind of want to buy it. There's Walmart. Walmart's had a great year. Or actually, no. Walmart's year has been kind of rough, too. AMD's down a lot still, you know. Where's Intel? Intel's still at 21s. That's pretty low. Anything you guys think I should buy this morning? I might start to add a couple things, but I don't want to buy Apple with the China tariff news. Although I do like Apple long term, and I think Apple's going to be fine long term. Short term, it's just risky. Yeah, let's do a poll. Sorry, guys. Does today's CPI inflation data help or hurt financial markets? Help, hurt, or bull bear reaction? Yeah, the only thing about Amazon is this, right? I like Amazon long term, of course. I like Amazon long term. The problem is, the real issue is that Amazon, most of the products sold on Amazon come from China. Like, what happens with most of the products on Amazon is that they buy the products wholesale on websites like Alibaba.com, and then they're buying them from China wholesale. So I could go buy tea tree oil and say, hey, I want to buy, 5,000 ounces of tea tree oil. And they might be like, okay, well, we'll sell you that for X amount of dollars. I'm just going to give a number. I don't even know how much tea tree oil costs. Yoga mats. I can go to Amazon, Alibaba, buy 500 yoga mats for $5 a piece. I could take those yoga mats that I get from China, slap them on Amazon for $20 a piece, and then profit, a pretty good margin, $15. But it's going to be a little bit less than that because Amazon's going to take their fees, so whatever that margin would be. And that's what most people on Amazon do, right? But the problem here is that the people buying products from China, like Amazon sellers buying their products wholesale from China, are going to have noticeably worse margins right now. and that is going to have a kickback effect into Amazon as well, right? So that's going to negatively impact Amazon also. It's not like it's not going to affect Amazon. It's definitely going to affect Amazon to a certain extent. But Amazon also is down pretty significantly as well, percentage-wise. But it had one of the biggest rebounds. But yeah, I'm looking at Microsoft as one of the stocks that I'm interested in buying. Microsoft. Although Microsoft had a very large bounce back. Microsoft up to 380s. Hit 390s. It bounced back from 340s. So I'm looking at Microsoft. And a lot of the market's following Apple down. You know. Yeah, I don't hate that. Let me buy some of this. Alright, how much do I want to buy? I'm going to buy some. Alright, so we bought a little bit. Small. We're not really, I mean, we're buying back in. At least a little bit, but it's not going to be a huge position because I think it's very possible the market keeps coming back down too. If we get more heat with these tariffs, it's very possible the market starts diving back down, you know. Don't copy me, not an investment professional. Please don't copy me. All right, guys. So, yeah, there's a couple positions I'm entering right now on the. Yep. Okay. There we go. If CPI comes down, are you buying more? Maybe. You know, the reason I'm buying here, and these are long-term positions, Chad, just to put this into perspective, these are all long-term positions. I am, you know, these are very small positions as well. These are not like huge positions at all. But these are long-term positions. Since I was able to avoid most of this downward fall, you know, these are very small positions. Buy a little bit of Target. Yeah, I mean, these are all very small positions. Do I want to buy a little bit of Disney, maybe? Nah, I think I'll wait on that one. Yeah, these are long-term positions, though, that I plan to DCA into. Just to put it into perspective, right? And again, it's very possible we continue down. You know, we're still down. The only reason I'm buying here is because we're still down a lot. What I learned, though, is like people are so desperate to be right about political views. Like, there's so much emotion on both sides that's wrapped around this. Somebody told me yesterday on a video that I posted, like kind of hyping up my PCE inflation report that we got. And we posted this video on March 27th, prior to the crazy downfalls the market's seen. and they said, so what did we learn? Are tariffs good or bad for the stock market? I think they're implying that tariffs are good to the stock market. And my response to this comment was funny, I think. I said, well, we're below where I made this video still. Tariff fears absolutely knocked the market down over the last few weeks, and the pause to the tariffs that was announced at 1 p.m. yesterday pushed the market back up very clearly. So yeah, tariffs in this context are quote-unquote bad for the stock market, especially short-term. You know, I mean, that's objectively true. Tariffs have knocked the market down brutally. I don't think anybody can really argue outside of that, regardless of whether the market's gone up or down. You know, really, the pause to these tariffs are what made the market rebound so fast. Like, if a 90-day pause to tariffs made the market jump up 12%, what does that mean? It means tariff fears are negatively affected the market for sure. And so, man, honestly, I'm nervous for today too. I don't know what we're gonna get today, and we have a lot of stuff. So just to put this into perspective, we got jobless claims, CPI. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Fed members speaking. We've got Lori Logan, Dallas Fed president, Michelle Bowman, Fed governor. We got Kansas City Fed pres Jeff Smid. We got Philly Fed President Patrick Harker. We got Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee. We got Boston Fed President Susan Collins, all speaking today. And then tomorrow we have PPI inflation, which is the other side of the CPI coin. CPI is consumer inflation. PPI is producer or wholesale inflation. That is tomorrow, as well as the Michigan consumer sentiment data coming out at 10 a.m. tomorrow as well. So just be careful, guys, man. The market is still incredibly volatile. Like, I know you hear me buying up some stuff. And again, I bought a little bit of Microsoft, a little bit of AMD, a little bit of Target, a little bit of Google. But these are not very large positions at all. Like, these are very small positions. I am not confident buying in full size. Not even close. I just think over a long period of time, I could probably DCA into these. But remember, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. To be completely honest, like, I make enough money running this YouTube channel and brand that no matter what, I'm green on the day. No matter what, I am green on the day. And so I'm able to do that. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Understand CFTC 4.41. Do not copy me. NVIDIA, I want to see if it goes a little bit lower. And I bought AMD instead, you know. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like, I think it could also, I certainly think it could go down. It could go down more. I really do. I think we can continue coming down. I don't think we're back yet. I don't think it's safe to say we're back. I think we can go down more. And that's what I'm nervous about, to be completely honest. That's why I'm not buying it big. Very small positions here. Very small. What's up, Prime? Yeah, I don't know if CPI is going to pump the market. You can see all the expected numbers down here at the bottom. Yeah, but I mean, the bounce was because he paused tariffs. It was catalyst driven. You know, most people are going to miss a catalyst driven move. And again, for me, like, we're up 10%. I'm okay with DCAing short term or long term, I mean, and just holding these positions indefinitely. I think that's the best way to invest. Is just buy, sit, wait, average in if you need to. Where's oil? Did oil end up coming back? No, so oil's still really weak. $61 a share, or $61 a barrel for oil. Still very low, very weak. Yeah, we got inflation data in an hour and 10 minutes still, chat. Hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm trying to see anything else that I want to discount by, maybe. The only thing else I'm thinking about is like Walgreens. Although Walgreens looks like it's going out of business every time I go close to that store. I don't really go to Walgreens much anymore, and they look like they're failing. So Walgreens. Thought about Disney. All right, so the economic advisor Hassett says there is a big inventory of deals that are right close to the finish line, according to CNBC. All right, so Apple airlifts 600 tons of iPhones from India to beat the tariff. Apparently, Constellation Brands offloads cheaper wine brands, looks to save money as forecasts sink stock. Volatility ETFs halted as VIX sees the biggest drop on record after the pause yesterday. So again, the VIX right now, chat, taking a look at this. The VIX. 37s. Somebody was talking about my watch earlier, you know. I got this watch last year. It's a nice watch. I don't wear it a ton, to be honest, but it's a cool watch. I'm kind of a watch guy. You know. It's called a Batman. It's a pretty cool watch. I like it. Probably wear this thing a little bit too much, honestly, for how much it costs. But watches are kind of like random investments that you can make. You can, most of the time, watches are going to go up in value. And so, yeah, it's waterproof. Yeah, it's waterproof. It's a nice watch. It's kind of an investment for me. It's not really an investment. There's no guarantee it's going to go up in value. But over a long period of time, it's going to at least hold its value. And so you can wear it. A lot of them go up in value too. But you can wear it for a few years, sell it, make money wearing it, you know. I don't know what we're going to get. Would you trade one mini? No, absolutely not. I've been trading micros mostly, and we've been doing really well with micros too. I think I don't know if I lost. Let me see. Ooh, I don't even know if I traded my main account yesterday. I have to go look. Yeah, I'm not trading minis for sure. That's too risky. I'll give a prediction later, but I really don't know what it's going to be, to be honest. I really don't know. Top Step added a new feature where you can lock out minis and not even be tempted to trade them. That's a great idea, I think. That's a great idea. All right, guys, let the volatility begin today, man. Honestly, we'll see what we get today. I'm kind of nervous. You know, ask a chat GPT a couple things. I'm asking chat GPT what stocks will not be affected by tariffs as much. Chipotle, baby. Where's it at? Where's Robinhood at too? Robinhood's just so freaking volatile as a company though, dude. It really is. I guess you could do banks. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. So we have three, I mean, every time we get CPI drop, there's multiple different ones, right? So we have year over year CPI expected at 2.6% today, 2.6%. We've got month over month regular CPI expected at 0.1% today, 0.1. Core CPI, which excludes food and energy, is expected at 3% year over year and 0.2% month to month. These drop every time. Every time we get it, these drop. Yeah, so every time this drops, we get at least some volatility from CPI. You know, the Fed looks at PCE, but CPI is incredibly important. Incredibly important. It all gauges inflation. Dollar index lost 1%. Let's take a look. Yeah, the Dixie going down. And inflation data will influence this a lot too. Like, I'm curious to see what this does to inflation. Gold still up to all-time highs. See, there's one more stock I want to buy. Okay. So I don't know what we're gonna get, guys. I really don't know. Why buy now? Well, I think we have big downward move, rebound, pullback. So, I mean, we're about right here now. And I think I am taking small enough positions, guys. Just to clarify, my positions are very small. Like, these are very small positions that I will add to over time if I can, if I need to. And if not, I'll just leave them alone. And if we do start to turn down, I'm not going to lose much at all. Very limited positions here, very small positions. I'm just not interested in taking a lot of risk right now, regardless. You know, like, you guys got to understand. I made money last year investing. I think I'm up this year regardless, but I cut most of my stuff in December. And so we avoided a lot of this big downward move. And if we do continue down, we're just going to DCA long-term. These are long-term investments. And I'm not an investment professional. But these are positions in which I'm buying stuff that I know over time I'm going to make money in long-term. And when I say long-term, it might be a decade, right? But I know I can DCA into these things long-term and make money, regardless of what they do short-term. And so those are the positions I'm buying. And we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, where's Alibaba at? Baba's still down a lot. It hadn't bounced back some. Here, look. Here's Baba. Yeah, I'm just buying good companies. That's what I bought some Target, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, AMD. So small positions. Yeah, the market's already crashed, guys, just to put this into perspective, right? The market's already crashed. And I don't know what we're going to do, but the NASDAQ has already certainly crashed. Just to put it up, like, here's the NQ. We dropped from 22,450s down to 16s here in the NASDAQ. So it's already crashed down. It's already down. Yeah, let me see where the 10-year yield is at. Ten-year Treasury yield is currently sitting at 4.3%. Wow, high. So yields are up, which means interest rate sentiment is higher. They are down a little bit from yesterday's 4.4% close for 10-year yields, but still not low. And here's the thing, right? Like, this is the risks right now, is that a lot of people project current quarter, last quarter, or negative GDP quarters. A lot of people forecast that quarter one of 2025 is a negative GDP quarter. Now, I don't know if this is true. I don't know what it's going to show up as. What I do know, in terms of economic reports, we get GDP data dropping not next week, but the week after, I think. I'm pretty sure. Unless they just scheduled it funny. Got a case filler. Yeah, so GDP actually is scheduled to come out April 29th, at the very end of this month, GDP PCE data. Dude, I hate it when they freaking do this. Why? Why are they putting GDP and PCE on the same freaking day? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, because what holiday is May 1st? International Workers' Day? May Day? Oh, Labor Day. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what CPI is going to be. I really don't. I hope it's good, but I really have no freaking idea what CPI is going to show up as. No idea. Yeah, no idea. All right, guys. So we are seeing some rebounds. Nvidia back up. Nasdaq back up. Watch 19,000 on the NQ. 19,000. You know, we talked about this 16,460 level. 16,460. 16.5s. That's kind of where we went yesterday, right? At the lows yesterday, we hit what? We didn't quite. We got 16.7s. Yeah, again, CPI drops today. Again, expected in a lot of ways, but yeah. Yeah, so just to summarize the tariff pause news for you guys. The market might be completely flat leading into CPI, just to put this into perspective. On April 9th, the president announced a 90-day suspension of most U.S. tariffs, reducing them to baseline of 10% of over 75 countries that had not engaged in retaliatory measures. Big volatility is what what it came after, and China was obviously notably excluded. Tariffs on the imports were elevated to 125%, citing their lack of respect. So all right, so we got our updated post kind of reviewing everything going on in markets. We got our updated post reviewing everything going on in markets, chat. So if you want kind of a one-stop shop, every day we do an x.com post where we break down all the big news in markets. We also do one on levels that we're going to start doing about 30 minutes before the opening bell. We're going to do one on levels. If you want to give me a follow on x.com, it's completely free. It doesn't cost anything. There's the link right there. Great way to help support our free content. We appreciate it. All right, yeah, so I'm going to put the expected numbers up in chat here as well. And in the comments of that x.com post we just made, we put the expectations for CPI too. Here's Baba. AMD. The E-mini here. Over 5K though, so that's good. 5400s for the E-mini. CPI drops in about 48 minutes, 49 minutes, about 50 minutes or so. A little bit under an hour. Yeah, I'm trying to check everything else to make sure we don't have anything else going on right now. Man, so for whatever reason, the next 2 weeks are kind of slow in economic reports. We don't really got much going on. Next week, we've got retail sales, jobless claims. We got Empire State Menu. Okay, so we got some stuff. It's not like huge, but we got some stuff. The week after, it's really slow, though, for some reason. All right, can we make some money today? Again, we're kind of iffy right now. We're very flat. We're very choppy. I do want to day trade some today, but I do not want to give too much back to the market here. So, like, I think we could be choppy is what I'm worried about. Choppiness. So, let me move this over here. We'll still trade. I still want to keep NVIDIA and some other stuff up to watch. Yeah, the volatility index were halted due to volatility. Which is odd. Yeah, so the Chinese yuan fell to the lowest levels in 18 years yesterday. What a time to be in the markets. This is a history-making market right now. It really is. This is history-making. Pfizer. Yeah, I don't really like pharmaceutical companies though. Like the volatility in pharma companies is very high, very high. And so even with the pullback, I just don't know if I like it. It might work out long term, but the risk. Like I want companies that I think are going to be really green long term. Despite the pullbacks, like I think we could keep dropping honestly. I just got to be careful, you know. Yeah, the irony of something getting a volatility index getting halted from volatility is too much. I might have even posted about that, but All right, guys. 20,000 NASDAQ today? Maybe. I mean, I'm okay if it does. Kevin O'Leary. I want to see the momentum and FOMO keep going. Are we gonna go up or down? I have no freaking idea. Right now, guys, we did some votes. 56% of people are bullish on today's CPI inflation report. Almost 60%. 40-something percent are bearish here. So we're about 65-45 or so. Or 55-45 is what I meant to say. So yeah, we're kind of split down the middle here. We still got 45 minutes before CPI inflation data. We got 1,100 viewers right now already. So, hey. Cheers to you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in here. You guys know we're going to cover all this stuff as soon as it happens, right? Very interesting and fun week. Very fun week. We'll see if we get anything good, but it is a whirlwind of a week here, guys. Whirlwind of a week. Wait, why is it showing Powell here? Hold on. Oh. Duh. All right. And then tomorrow, we got PPI inflation. So today we got CPI expected at 3% for core, 2.5% I'm showing on some ways, on some sources for regular CPI, 2.5%. Jobless claims 223 expected, 223,000 here. Again, treasury yields, guys, sitting at 4.3%, which is shockingly high in a period of markets with this much fear. It's very rare for treasuries to be this high. I'm going to put this up. Very, very strange for treasuries to be this high in this type of market here. Usually what happens is that as people project economic and market weakness, treasury yields decrease because that's interest rates essentially. And interest rates decrease to save us from the weak markets that we're seeing. But right now it's the opposite. People can't flock to treasury bills like they used to. So now that, it's a very strange market. White House economic advisor Hassett says that they will present a list of deal priorities to the U.S. president on Thursday. We get a deal to the president on Thursday. Microsoft all the way up to over 385s as we speak. Yeah, I don't think you're anybody, Kay. I'm just kind of working right now. It's all good, bro. Hope you're doing good. What's up, Faye? Is oil included in CPI? No, it is. It depends. Core CPI excludes food and energy, which is oil. Regular CPI, yes. It is included in regular CPI. All right, so there's the NASDAQ pushing up here. I'm worried we're going to get choppiness. We still got 40 minutes left. 40 minutes left until this data drops. All right, so China scoops up Brazilian soy as trade war with U.S. worsens, according to Bloomberg. China bought at least 40 Brazilian soybean cargoes this week. How can CPI impact the markets? A lot. I mean, CPI can wildly influence markets. It's inflation data. I would say it's the most watched retail inflation gauge. It's probably the most watched retail inflation gauge, right? Very important, very relevant. You want to tune into it. Now the Fed looks at PCE, but CPI is still all the while relevant for inflation in the U.S. And then tomorrow we have what's called PPI. So CPI consumer inflation, PPI producer wholesale inflation, basically. And so we got more inflation data tomorrow mixed with other stuff too, Fed speakers and more. What's up, Rich? Thanks for the membership, bro. Thank you, sir. Trueflation shows CPI is much lower. Yeah, and maybe if we do come in low, maybe the market pushes up. But if we come in hot, maybe the market comes down. I really don't know what we're gonna get for inflation data. I really don't know. Let me take a look at Trueflation here. Now that we say this. Yeah, I mean, Trueflation shows. Trueflation showing 1.4%, which is just not, that's not it. Versus a year ago, it's showing 3.07%. So year over year, expected at what, 2.5% is what they got. If we look at the CPI data, though, the actual CPI index here, though. Month over month, it shows 1.34%. .8% is what they think. They think 2.8%. Yeah, I mean, Slither, the expected number ranges depending on the analyst, right? And so one of them has it 2.6, another has it at 2.5. Neither of those answers are right or wrong. These are just different analysts with different expectations, which varies. Like the expectations that we get for economics or earnings or anything really is based off of analysts, right? And analysts are going to have different projections, different expectations here. And so again, it's not like my 2.6% is wrong and your 2.5% is right. Like they vary depending on who's analyzing it. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Anyways, NVIDIA up to 111, still bouncing back. The market very choppy, very flat, very neutral here. If I do trade, I'm going to trade some like sideways neutral activity, I think, leading into CPI. Some sideways neutral activity. I will go ahead and short this. Although it's very risky time to trade right now. Very risky time. I just think we got 35 minutes until CPI drops. And we might chop sideways. That's all I'm looking at. There we go. Nice. I'll go ahead and add, or no, I was going to add to it. No, I'll wait. Okay, yeah, we'll add a little bit to it. Keep it very small. Little pre-market trade. We got inflation data dropping at 35 minutes, guys. 35 minutes. There we go. See, now we're retracing back up. This candle's acting very volatile, too. Okay, that's good. Wow. I'm going to have to cut that. That's a big up candle here. Yeah, we're just going to get out. We got out for $15. It might actually work. And it looks like it did. The candle price action is just getting really hard to trade. Really hard to trade. We're going to cover Tesla earnings. Whether we're going to play Tesla is a different story. Yeah, CPI data a lot of times. So it looks like I got out at the right time of that very small short. We'll wait till we get to the top of the range. Again, my guess is that we're going to chop. We still got 35 minutes left. And I think we're going to chop sideways. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here, is just looking to maybe target some of the chop. We got a little range here that we can maybe play. I kind of wanted to short at the top of the range, but I'm just going to wait, I think. No, I don't, Daw. I'm not, I live in Texas, sir. Yeah, where's the Dow at? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I hope people understand. This is why I don't short anything, right? Like, you see how much the market ripped up. This is why I don't short anything. And, like, this is why I don't try to predict the tops. This is why I don't try to, like, you know how many people in my chat were telling other people to double down on their shorts prior to that big squeeze yesterday? Like, again, the Dunning-Kruger effect is absolutely real, the most in trading, right? Meaning, like, the people who are the worst traders are typically the ones that are trying to teach everybody else what to do, or not even teach, but they're typically the people pressuring other people to do specific things, right? Like, you guys know me, I don't pressure anybody to do anything. I don't even claim to be a good trader, right? But you got other people that are like, you better short now. You better do this now. And a lot of them just got punished yesterday, just punished. This market flew up. One of the biggest single largest gain days in the S&P ever. One of the biggest gain days ever in the S&P. And so it's really important that people understand nobody freaking knows what's going to happen. Nobody does. And by pressuring people, you might be pushing, like, misery might love company in that situation. Maybe they just want people to be as miserable as they are. But just understand, you always got to make your own assessment. You always got to figure it out yourself. You got to make your own trade ideas. And you got to preserve your capital and your account, because risk is there in markets. I don't short the healthiest things in the world, and I will buy them if they get low enough, though, but that's more of a long-term strategy. They're trying to convince themselves. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. I understand expectations might be different. Well, no, they're based on data for sure, right? What I'm saying, somebody was arguing with me about a 0.1% chance difference or something. Yeah, again, the irony is that the VIX, a volatility ETF, got halted for volatility yesterday. Like, I will short the NASDAQ short term and take some little play trades here, but we're getting close to CPI. We got 30 minutes left. If we get up to this level, I'll short. Very flat right now in market, though. All right, guys. Oh, wait. Look at this turn down, guys. All right, I had to handle a little bit of business on the phone real quick. All right, so I really wanted to short here too, man. I'm kind of bummed I didn't catch it, but I got to be risk averse in that situation. Tesla popping up to 260s right now, honestly. Look at Tesla make a little pop. See if it drags the market back up too. Yeah, so looking at our poll, 60-40 think that CPI inflation data helps the market. 60-40. Oh, do I want to short? I'm going to short this. We're kind of poking around this morning trading. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get green in one trade and then add to it if I can. And then if I don't get green, I just don't add to it. But the wicks of these candles are moving, man. Look how much this is moving. That's strange. There's a dip. There we go. The problem is that nothing's really holding down here. Like we're up small, but it's taking so much work to get any profit. There we go. We'll add a little bit on that candle here, but we also got to be weary. All right, we just took half off, locked it in. See if we get a little bit more here. All right, so we're out. So we're green on the day now, which is nice. We caught the short we wanted, but very small. I got to be risk averse here. All right, guys, we got 25 minutes until inflation comes out. 25 minutes until inflation comes out. I'm trying to see what's dragging the market down. Where's Apple? I want to see what Apple's doing. Apple's surprisingly green, even though, like, I guess tariffs. Look at this drop, guys. Wow. All right, so ECB's Bush says more needs to be done to remove barrier to banking integration. Redfin reports that homebuyer demand improved last week, but tariff turmoil, rising rates, and economic jitters likely to hamper sales. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent will travel to Buenos Aires, Argentina on April 14th. All right, guys. All right, so we got down to this yellow line here, and then we bounced back up some. So we got down to this yellow line, bounced right back up. Bro, what is going on with, like, the style that I'm seeing people wear right now? Like, I see this video of Justin Bieber getting mad at the paparazzi. Bro, his pants look like MC Hammer. Like, can't we just, like wear normal, like, fitting clothes for a little while? Like, it's literally like this. And he's got pants. Like, that's Justin Bieber right now. You know, why? Like, I grew up in the 90s, bro. I remember Jinkos. They looked ridiculous. Ridiculous. I get it. It's stylish. It looks ridiculous. All right, guys. Markets break it down. Markets break it down. Look at this. 1860s right now. 1860s. I'm trying to look at what stocks are actually dragging it down. Apple, decreasing. AMD, not really moving that much. Microsoft, not really moving that much. Nvidia falling down a little bit, though. Tesla, decreasing some. Google's not really moving much either. Look at this big turn in the market, guys. Wow, what stock is this? Huh? I don't know. I'll just stick that right there. Yeah, thank you, baby. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere. All right, look at this decrease here, chat. Decrease. Tesla's definitely one of them. Look at this decrease here, chat. Into CPI data, we got 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left. A little bit over that now, actually. We got about 2,000 people here. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. All right, look at this. Look at this move. Oh, I wanted to buy my support level here. Oh, look at my level here, guys. Oh man, I should have bought it. Look at that retracement. Oh man. You don't love to see it. I missed out on it. I didn't catch this. Look at that level right there. Top 3 greatest levels of all time right here. Look at that. Ah. Yeah, don't get emotional, guys. I'm not saying the market's crashing. We're just covering the downward pressure that we're getting in markets ahead of CPI data. And again, we started buying a little bit of stocks, very small positions, though. Not really interested in taking any large positions. I'm completely good on large positions here. Ah, look at that level, though, dude. Still kind of mad about it. All right, Apple at 192s. Yeah, look at that level hold. Nice little bounce. All right, guys, 20 minutes. CPI data, 20 minutes. All right. All right, so we got a little stop there. Nvidia coming back down to 110s.
Somebody said the S&P bounces perfectly off the 643-day moving average, and you're going to tell me technical analysis doesn't work?
Love it. Love it. What about the 76 and the 53.5 crossover, guys? What about that one? Huh? Reuters ECB poll, the ECB is going to lower the deposit rate by 25 basis points to 2.25% on April 17th, according to about 61 out of 71 surveyed. All right, guys, here's the retest. I never attacked the retest of my levels here, though, unfortunately, so it means I'm not going to be able to attack this one. Maybe I should have attacked my level. There's 820s. Tesla's still coming down under 262s. Yeah, join our Discord. Completely free, doesn't cost anything. There's the link right there. Check it out. We got 17 minutes until CPI inflation data, chat. 17 minutes. I can't listen to this. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be instrumentals only. I'm not sure what happened there, but there we go. Secretary Percent travel to Buenos Aires. What values of CPI higher or lower be bearish or bullish? Higher is worse. Lower is better. Higher is higher inflation data. Lower is lower inflation data. Now, anything could happen. We could still get any technical reaction in markets. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean like we're gonna get a specific reaction. It just doesn't. Like, we could really get anything here. And so, yeah, just understand, like, anything could freaking happen. Anything could freaking happen. It doesn't mean anything. We could honestly get all kind of reactions from this thing. The market is very interesting in that, like, just because we want the market to do one thing doesn't mean it will. Even if we get lower inflation data, it doesn't necessarily mean like we're gonna get some super favorable positive reaction. And so just understand, like, at the very least, we're probably going to get some volatility from this report. Now, in the landscape of the current market, it doesn't quite mean much either. But yeah. All right, I might start buying. All right, I'll take one contract here. See if we get a little pop. There we go. All right, nice, nice. All right, I gotta immediately get out of that thing. Just, you know, take my little $20 bill. I still think we could probably ride it up to there, but being a little wimpy this morning just because of the CPI report. Again, you can see all the expected numbers right here, chat, as we get closer to CPI inflation data. ECB gonna again lower the rates. We'll see what we get. Again, we got PPI inflation data tomorrow. We still got 15 minutes. All right, guys. So according to CNN's Treen on X.com, he said one of the options that the president was considering to announce deals that were already so far along that we could pretty much finish them up and make them public is, yeah, kind of some context there would be better, I think, but all right, so White House economic advisor Hassett did say that bond markets have contributed to the tariffs but did not cause a panic, end quote. Hey, bro. Love you, dude. Have a good day at school, buddy.
Have a good day, bud. Love you, dude. Love you, buddy. Just a nice kid. Just a sweet kid, bro. Inverse Kramer? Yeah, man. It's been wild how accurate he's been. Honestly, I'm just glad, like, the only time I've predicted a correction or crash, we actually got one, you know? We got out flat in December and was very vocal about it. And just glad I did, because we avoided a large majority of this drop. We didn't actually start entering anything until this morning with very small positions back. We did miss out on some of the rebound yesterday, but that's kind of how it goes. Like, I don't need to make every big rebound and back up or anything like that. Like, I'm okay with missing stuff if I'm not losing money, you know. All right, guys, 13 minutes left. Yeah, honestly, like, people try to insult and say whatever. Honestly, it's really made me want to go back and get clips of me saying why I was flat, why I got out, why I thought a correction might happen soon. And again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. The logic was that NASDAQ was just up 105% in 2 years. That's a crazy amount. That's a crazy amount. Like, you got to put it into perspective of, like, the NASDAQ typically averages about 10%, which includes crash statistics. Like, this is the important thing to understand. The NASDAQ averages 10%, 8%, 9%, including crashes. And so what does that mean? That means when we're not crashing, we're going to go up much more than 10%. What it also means is that if we have a couple years of crazy big gains of, like, 50% a year or whatever, that the likelihood that we are going to correct after that goes up, huge amounts. It doesn't mean we got to crash soon or correct, but the likelihood that we're going to correct goes up a huge amount. And this is something I've been saying for a long time, and it's important for people to understand that. You typically get mania on both sides, right? Where, bulls always think the market's going to keep going up. Bears always think when these type of corrections or crashes happen that we're always going to continue down. Both of them are wrong. But the bulls, at the very least, market's going to go up long term regardless. If we're looking at indices like the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, like, those are going to go up no matter what. Long term. Short term, they can be risky, though, like the last few years. And I think people just get swayed by a lot of different things like politics and emotion and all this different stuff. But when you start to understand those, it becomes easier, Should have bought at the bottom? Well, yeah, I mean, I should have bought Amazon 20 years ago. Hindsight's always 20/20, but I'm going to just DCA long-term, like, DCAing long-term is the best move, in my opinion. Humble opinion. Again, don't copy me, not an investment professional. Yeah, I'm going to go with 2.8%, 2.7% for CPI today, slightly higher than expected, but we also could show up lower. I haven't actually been very accurate with CPI lately, to be honest here, so I'm going to go with 2.7, 2.8% for CPI today, slightly higher than expected, just based off of the tariffs fears, but Trueflation actually has it lower, and that might be right. Bond yields just opened up, though. Here's an interesting way to look at it. Like, here's bond yields. Bond yields just opened up 4.3%, 4.33% for bond yields. Like, look at this. They just opened up right here. Bond yields, 4.33%. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes, 9 minutes left until CPI inflation data. 9 minutes. Ready? Yeah. 2.5%. Yeah, don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Go Tigers. Yeah, for sure. Remember, not an investment professional. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything I say here. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Not financial advice. Honestly, look at my levels though, bro. Honestly, I'm really proud of my levels here, dude. Like, my light bulbs are going off in my head. Look at this. So again, we came right down to this level, bounced, went right up to this level, and we're confirming my levels really well. So I'm starting to get excited about these things, man. You know, as long as I can like manage risk, be a little risk averse, but attack things when they're favorable. I'm excited. All right, 7.5 minutes left, chat. We got 2,500 viewers right now. Give me your percentage. What do you think CPI inflation data will show up as today? Bond yields decreasing, showing a lower interest rate sentiment. Banned for life here, Dr. F. Just joking, you're banned for a minute. How could you say that, bro? You're talking bad about LSU, bro? You get banned in here, dude. You know? Like, I can deal with some roll tides, right? But how dare you, bro? Get out of here. All right, 7 minutes left, 7 minutes. I'm just joking. I mean, I'm okay with the friendly banter. I'll ban you for life here, but it's okay. All right, guys, look at y'all's expectations. 2.9%, 2.5%, 2.7, 2.8, 2.3, 2.5, 2.6, 3, 3.1, 2.9, 2.9, 2.5, 2.8, 2.6, 2.7. 2.7, 2.5. I see a lot of 2.5s. I see a lot of 2.7s. Like I said, I said 2.7, 2.8%. Slightly higher, but I don't know if we're going to get some big volatility from this report regardless of it. We got 6 minutes left, Jack. 6 minutes. You guys ready? Inflation data looming here. All right, so Punchbowl Sherman says he expects a press conference from House Speaker Johnson and Majority Leader in the U.S. morning in which they say they are committed to finding $1.5 trillion in cuts. Prada has struck a $1.4 billion deal for Versace. Prada buying Versace. Versace. I guess. All right, look at the market coming back down here. Market's falling down. We got 5 minutes until CPI inflation data. A little bit over 5 minutes. This timer's a little early. A little bit over 5 minutes before CPI inflation data is here. We got about 3,000 viewers right now. 5 minutes left. You guys ready? And again, if you want to trade with me, I am trading on Top Step's funded account program. I'll put the link up right here. They're a funded account program. They give you a demo, test your skill. You pass the test, they fund you. They paid out almost $200 million. If you fail, you only lose $50 for the base one. Teaches you how to trade. You get started for much less. You're risking something, but not the full extent of losing thousands like most new day traders do. Futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Very similar to day trading stocks. Great way to learn. Great way to learn day trading. Pay that market tuition a different way. If you want to check them out, here's the link. They are an affiliate of mine. I am biased. I get paid by them. Top 3 most biased ever. We did start buying a little bit this morning, but we are on the cusp of CPI inflation data today, guys. On the cusp of CPI inflation data. And the reason we get thousands of people here tuning into this report is because we cover it quickly. And so we'll see if we get some volatility from this report in the wake of the crazy volatility we've seen over the last 3 or 4 days, especially yesterday. One of the largest green days in history of finance yesterday. I think it's like the 4th largest green day in history, up 12% at the close yesterday. 12%. And then we're pulling back a little bit this morning. So we went up yesterday, back down a little bit this morning. We got CPI dropping in about 3.5 minutes here. Chat, 3.5 minutes. Yeah, if some of y'all are still putting in your hit the live button next to the play button, guys. Hit the live button next to the play button. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. All right, you guys ready? Got a nice little bounce back up here, though. 3 minutes left. Timer's a little early here. Timer's a little early, and that's okay. Last minute predictions. 2.7. I said 2.7, 2.8. I think we could also come in lower, though. I think we'll have to wait and see, though. Nobody freaking knows. Trueflation has it. All right, so we got bond yields at 4.3% this morning. 2.7. See, I feel like some people are just copying off of my prediction. I said 2.7. 2.5. 2.5 is what's expected, so that would be an as expected number here. We got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. All right, guys. Tesla down to 260s. Will the NASDAQ find support ahead of this? I'm going to put a full screen chart up here. Here's a full screen chart of the NASDAQ ahead of this report. I'm going to put gold up on the bottom right. Gold. Getting close to all-time highs. I'm going to put, what do we, gold? We got like gold. I can put bond yields up. All right, so here's bond yields and gold. All right, guys, a minute and a half. A minute and a half left. Tesla down to 261s. Apple down to 191s. Microsoft down to 383s. The numbers vary by analysts. We got 1 minute left. All right, less than a minute, guys. We got less than a minute. We got about 4,000 viewers right now. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. This timer's a little bit early. 40 seconds. 40 seconds. $30 seconds, chat. 30 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream here, guys. The president just tweeted great news. The big, beautiful bill is coming along really well. Republicans are working together nicely. Biggest tax cuts in U.S. history getting close. He just posted this right now. We got 15 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream, guys. We will cover this as soon as it drops. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the report right now. CPI showed up at 2.4%, lower than expected. 2.4% lower than expected. Minus 0.1% month to month for month over month CPI. Core CPI showed up at 0.1% month to month. 2.8% year over year. Jobless claims showed up as expected at 223,000. Better than expected inflation data by a couple different margins. 2.4% versus 2.5% expected year over year. Minus 0.1%, actually a negative number month to month. Jobless claims showed up as expected. Core CPI showed up lower than expected at 2.8% versus 3% expected. 2.8% versus 3%. Better than expected economic data here. Better than expected inflation data. The market is rising on this report. Again, 2.9% building permits for Canada, but jobless claims showed up as expected. CPI year over year showed up at 2.4% versus 2.5%. Better than expected. Core CPI noticeably better than expected at 2.8 versus 3%, 0.1% versus 0.3% month to month. Regular CPI month to month showed up at minus 0.1% versus a positive 0.1% expected, and the market is jumping. Bond yields are decreasing here. Gold is increasing for some reason, but yeah. 2.4%, chat. 2.4% for CPI inflation data. Noticeably better than expected. We'll put this data up on screen. But yeah, 2.4% versus 2.5%. Better than expected. Noticeably better here. Hold on, let me add some more here. Yeah, so 2.4%, minus 0.1% for regular CPI month to month. So inflation data. We'll put this up on screen here as well, but minus 0.1%, guys. That's crazy. Market is flying up to almost 19,000, almost 19K. Honestly, crazy gains right now. We'll put this up on screen. Hold on, give me a second. Jobless claims showed up as expected, 223,000. Again, here is regular CPI. We'll put year-over-year CPI year-over-year 2.4% versus 2.6. Jobless claims showed up at 223. We'll put this up on screen as well here. All right, so yeah, better than expected inflation data. We got like 5,000 people watching right now. Thanks so much for the chat, or for joining us here, chat. We appreciate it. Yeah, so there's the data on screen right now. We put it all up on screen. There we go. All right. I love you. Have a good day. Hey, thank you, AB, for the donation. Thanks so much. Yeah, NASDAQ's up. Bond yields are down. Again, we are going to trade live at the opening bell today. This means Feds are getting closer to a cut. I think so. I think this increases the likelihood of a rate cut today. I think this increases the likelihood of a rate cut, although it's still at 15% that I'm showing right now. The likelihood of a rate cut is still sitting at 15.5%, 15.5%, 84.5% likelihood of a pause next month in May. So hasn't really changed much in that regard. And again, we're going to do our second plug all day today. Second plug all day. If you want a full breakdown of all the CPI numbers here, you can give me a follow on x.com right here. Give me a follow on x.com. Here's the link. Completely free. We break all this stuff down. Check it out. We've been growing like crazy on there. We post almost all the breaking news in markets. If it's big news, definitely we cover it. There's the link. Markets certainly react favorably to this. And yeah, we're up. Tomorrow we have PPI inflation data as well. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to learn how to day trade. If you want to learn to day trade, do not fund your own account thousands of dollars. You are almost certain to lose it. Most day traders lose. And so it makes no sense to fund your own account thousands of dollars just to lose 5, 10, 20, 30 grand. Instead, try Top Step. It's $50 a month for the base one. If you can make 3K in profit without losing 2K first, following their rules, they fund you 50K, 90% split. Prior to the split kicking in, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. Very similar to funding your own account, noticeably less risk. And they've paid out almost $200 million. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders lose. Most traders lose for years. It's called market tuition. Pay your market tuition with a $50 a month subscription. If you fail that, they give you a practice account with real-time data. If you pass it, 50K funded account, 90% split. There's larger accounts as well. But again, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased. Futures market, very similar to day trading stocks. And you can day trade indices like the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, gold. Check them out. There's the link in chat right there. Great way to help support the channel. But I'm biased. I get paid by them. Market's bouncing right there at that 200 exponential moving average. And we'll see if it holds. 19,000, I think, is going to be a pretty big psychological level on the NASDAQ. 19K. How does today's data increase the odds of an interest rate cut? Because the odds today of a rate cut are going to go up most likely because, okay, I'll explain economics and federal policy and the Federal Reserve just so it makes sense. Okay, let me lower this or change this song. Okay, so the Federal Reserve, their job is to maintain balance in the economy. They don't want too much of a thriving labor market in which it makes inflation spike, because a strong economy is going to do what? It's going to increase prices because so much spending is occurring. And so their job is to keep it balanced. If the economy is super weak, they will step in and bring interest rates down. It's called a dovish Fed or a loose Fed or a less restrictive Fed. And they bring interest rates down because it stimulates the economy, because when people have cheaper access to money, they tend to spend more. Look at this turnaround happening here, guys. So look at the turnaround happening. Now, when things are really weak like 2020, the Fed can step in, lower interest rates. That, like they did in 2020, they brought rates down to almost zero. They could also do a more desperate measure called QE, quantitative easing, which is a form of money printing where they basically inject liquidity through money printing. They buy up a bunch of bonds, creating bank reserves, and then buying bonds and MBSs and other financial assets with it. By doing so, it injects liquidity into market, ultimately stimulates the economy. They can also bring interest rates down, like I said, and they also sent out stimulus checks in 2020. All this stuff stimulated the economy, but the consequence in 2022 was inflation spiked up, right? And so the consequence of economic stimulus that's loose, lower interest rates, can be inflation. And so if the economy is weak, the Federal Reserve will stimulate it, but they need inflation to be under control first, which is one of the reasons lower inflation data increases the odds of a rate cut, is because in order to cut rates justifiably, they have to have reasonable inflation data, better than expected inflation data. It can't be sky high, because if it's sky high, stimulating the economy more might make inflation worse, not better. And like 2022, they ended up starting a bunch of rate hikes, being restrictive, raising rates, because by raising rates, it takes liquidity away. It reduces spending because people have higher interest rates, so they don't want to take out as many loans. Businesses don't expand as much, and it ultimately pushes the economy down a little bit to control inflation. It's called a restrictive or a hawkish Fed. They also do QT, which is the opposite of QE. They take liquidity away from markets through offloading their balance sheet. And so in order for the Federal Reserve to justifiably cut rates, they need inflation to be under control. If inflation's not under control, the Federal Reserve's not going to cut rates, because lowering rates might make inflation worse, not better. And so if inflation is spiking up, you got bigger problems on your hands by lowering rates, if that makes sense, right? So anyways, market turned, now down a little bit, really kind of flat even from this report. Amazon CEO says they know customers care about selection and price and will do everything they can to offset these tariffs, end quote. And so lower CPI inflation data is a better thing for markets usually. But again, like I said before this report, nobody freaking knows what we're going to do here. Nobody knows. And my accuracy with CPI hasn't been as good, man. It hasn't been as good. We got like 6 or 7 out of 10 right. Exactly right. Last 2 I've gotten wrong, man. And the wrong direction too, so. All right, so we're flat, honestly, from this report leading into the opening bell, which is even more interesting here. Yeah, I'm going to just put him, like, you're trying to say too much, Minds. Like, apparently you're telling everybody everything. Like, it's just too desperate for validation, brother, you know. Too argumentative. Like, it's just not worth it. Good day to you, sir. Yeah, now I'm, like, top 3 worst CPI predictor in the world. And honestly, we're still green from the CPI report. You know what I mean? I wonder if you know how much people have interest in how you trade, but are actually more interested in your view and understanding of macroeconomics. I'm one of them, at least. Yeah, I mean, that's what we do here. We teach people about economics. Honestly, I've kind of pivoted to that a lot, because that's truly what I'm interested in. I mean, I still day trade, I swing trade, I invest, I do all this stuff, but I help people follow along with economics, and I think that's an important thing, because a lot of people, I was telling somebody I know about this, but if you can predict the economy, you can make money, you know? And so you just got to understand what's going on and like how it correlates with everything else. Again, bond yields did decrease originally from this report. We're honestly completely flat from the CPI report. Here's where the report came out. Here's where we are now. So we honestly haven't moved at all. We went up a lot. Now we're back down to basically neutral here. But we are starting to turn red for sure. Just be careful, guys. Be careful. Yeah, it doesn't mean the Fed's going to cut rates. There's going to be a little bit more of a green light to cut rates. But inflation's a big problem now because of the trade battle that we got going on. And so South is right, in which they're going to be more cautious to cut rates because of the potential inflation implications of the current trade battle and tariff battle that we got going on. Absolutely true. I mean, we had a big move and a big reaction from CPI. I don't know if I would say the market doesn't care about it. I honestly, I just think the market is so volatile right now. It went up 12% yesterday. So regardless of CPI, it's going to be incredibly volatile today, most likely, based off of everything going on, you know. The numbers are right here on screen. We showed up at 2.4% versus 2.6% expected. Minus 0.1% month over month versus 0.1%. So just to put this into perspective, right? These CPI data shows a couple different things. The first thing is that this is how fast prices are going up, right? This doesn't mean inflation's literally going down. It means it's slowing down. And so the year over year reading basically means they expected inflation to grow by 2.6% over the last year versus the same period last year, 2.6%. Instead, we showed up at only growing 2.4% in prices relative to the same period last year, right? So this is what we actually showed. So prices are still up, but they're up less than expected, right? That's the first thing. Same thing with month over month, but it's a little bit different. Month over month here, they expected prices to only go up 0.1% month to month. Instead, prices went down 0.1% month to month. And this is what we got. So prices literally went down a little bit month to month, which is rare. And that's kind of what we see going on right now. And again, we are completely flat. Here's where the report came out. Here's where we are now. Nothing yet. We haven't really done anything yet. But that is the CPI report. Jobless claims, which is unemployment filings week to week. Jobless claims unemployment filings showed up at 223,000. That's a bad 3, but 223,000. That was as expected. So we showed up at 223K. We expected 223K. This is how many people are filing for unemployment week to week initially. And yeah, that's what we got going on. That's inflation data today. Yeah, I mean, just trolling too much, Kevin. Just trolling too much, bro. Not really saying anything useful. Just kind of trying to stroke stuff weird. Yeah, again, we got a lot of Fed members speaking today, too, just to put this into perspective. We got, again, I said this early this morning. We got Lori Logan at 9:30 Eastern. Michelle Bowman at 10 a.m. Jeff Schmid, 10 a.m. Philly Fed President Patrick Harker speaking at noon. Austin Goolsbee, Chicago Fed President, speaking at noon as well. Susan Collins, Boston Fed President, at 4 p.m. today. A lot of Fed members speaking today, guys. So y'all be careful. Do you think the strong job report and cool inflation data gives them the green light to continue this trade battle? I don't know, man. I hope not, you know. Yeah, we'll see what the market looks like. What do we get here, guys? What do we get? Yeah, we're gonna trade a little bit. I might actually short this. Hold on, let's figure out which one it is. Yeah, we might actually trade some. We're still holding down underneath this 18.82 level. Extension's probably on the downside. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and short it. This is day trading futures. You can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. Very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT in futures. I can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell. Gold. Nice little dip here. We added to our position. We're slightly green, but that is not good. I'm going to have to cut this. We got a little bit here. See if we can add back on this retracement. Take 3 contracts here. We already had a little bit of a cushion on the day. There we go. That's better. We're so choppy here, guys. I don't know what the market's going to do. We'll hold the rest flat. It keeps holding right here, but such a weird market. I gotta cut this here. So basically a flat little trade. We'll see if we can find another option here, but you can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. Yeah, so there's a pop back up, so it looks like I avoided that. Very flat though reaction here. We didn't really move too much from CPI. You know, it means that the analyst predicted it right. Just shorted my entire retirement fund. The market should go down today, right? I don't know, bro. Good luck, dude. I want to see if we break down some more here, but I think it's very, we'll try it, but there we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump out there too. We're trying to just scalp in this market. My original short would have worked here too, to be honest, but it's all good. Look at that. Yeah, CPI's out. It might be a big yellow letters right below me. It could be. John, do you think it's possible to change opinions of American people? It seems like we're so divided, not willing to accept others' opinions. You know, I said it once, I'll say it again. I think the more like toxic people get regarding politics, the less smart they are, more easily manipulated and gullible. You know, everybody should be able to respect everybody else's beliefs. You know, the more wrapped up in it, the more like susceptible to like the media people are. In my opinion, you know, I try to just be politically neutral because I don't care about any of that stuff. You know. But I also don't really like judge anybody else for whatever they look at or view, as long as they're not toxic. I think we should all criticize toxic behavior, and yeah. Oh, should I change the music? This is an old playlist, guys. Data was better than expected slightly, but we're honestly down a little bit. The data showed up right here, just to put this into perspective. Data showed up right here, and we are right here. So, very small downward action, but starting to decrease. Yeah, I'm curious to see what PCE shows up as now as well. All right, so we're down some here. I don't know if we have much follow through today, though. I think we might bounce right here, but who knows? Could be profit taking. Yeah, NASDAQ is all the way down to 18.74s. Yeah, TLT's down, which means yields are up, not down from CPI inflation. They're not really, I mean, 4.3%, 4.32% for 10-year yields. So we're actually down relative to yesterday. Not much, though. Yeah, I can't please everybody, though, Fly. Everybody's different. Some people complain about elevator music. They complain about lo-fi. They complain about everything, you know, so can't make everybody happy. All right, guys. Stick around. We are going to be streaming the opening bell trading live as it happens. Okay, guys, stick around. We are going to be trading live at the opening bell. So CPI data is out. Yeah, so we got trading live. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Some of this old music that I got is just not that good. All right, so there's the bounce back. We kind of thought we might here. We kind of have. Yeah, so we got the CPI data out. We're going to be trading the opening bell here now. All right, look at this rebound back up here, chat. So we're popping right back up. Again, we are completely flat from the CPI inflation report. Completely flat. It's Top Step. If you want to check it out, link is in the description. I got the link right here too if you want it. But it's Top Step's funded account program. Here it is right here. They're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. Can't guarantee anything. Confirm it all with them. But if you want to check it out, there's the link. If you use my link, go to Top Step X. There's zero commission. There's zero commission on Top Step X. Yeah, so inflation data better than expected. Do we short into this bounce, though, I guess is the question here. Let's take a look at Tesla. We got a little spike from CPI, but nothing huge. I should have shorted the line, I guess. News has been pretty quiet too, bro. Like compared to yesterday and the day before, like we haven't really got that much news this morning. We got the Amazon CEO says they know about customer care and selection and prices and will do everything they can to offset tariffs, according to CNBC. Again, stick around. We are going to be trading live at the opening bell, of course. Stick around. Live trading at the opening bell. We got our news from a bunch of different sources. I'm talking about it in general. We don't have a lot going on. Core CPI inflation under 3% for the first time since March of 2021. So pro-Bitcoin Paul Atkins is officially confirmed as the new SEC chairman. Too quiet? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's we got the 9 a.m. scrum coming out in about 3 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and short this line right here. Might get pumped up against me, but we'll double down and try to see if we reject short term off of this level. I got nervous, so I cut it, but all right, so we just made a little bit from it. We got that rejection right there, but it's a little scalp move, so I don't trust it. We ended up making money somehow, though. And we're green on the day, too, so that's good. Yeah, inflation day came in cooler than expected. We are short in another account, funded account. I'll show you guys real quick, but we're kind of going back and forth here. We've made about $60 net on the day. We got 2 contracts left. I'm gonna have to cut it. Still green on the day on this one though, but not quite as green anymore. We're basically completely flat. I want to see if we retrace back down real quick though. There we go. All right, so we're basically flat on the day in this thing now. You can kind of see we made 26, 10, 28, lost 50. So we'll go back to our other one, which we are slightly green on right now. Slightly green. Look at that retracement. Wow. So if we pop. All right, so we just made about 100 in that other account. About $100. Made about $90. We're $90 green on the day. Attacking this little pop bounce. ECB's Bush on recent market volatility says, so far we have seen relatively normal market reactions and monitor this carefully. It is business as usual. Mercedes-Benz, India sold a record of almost 18,300 cars in the fiscal year of 24. Yeah, so we're green in this account. We're green on both accounts that we're trading on today. People are confused about why the market went up or didn't go up because it's not that easy, guys. Listen, okay. Whew. There's this thing called variance. My poker players understand this. There's this thing called variance. Variance in everything in markets. Variance in reactions, variance in movement, variance in patterns, variance in profit, variance in everything. If it was as easy as sitting around waiting for positive CPI and just clicking buy, everybody and their grandmother would be rich. Nobody would do anything else. If I could sit around and wait for Tesla to report good EPS, good revenue, good guidance, and just click buy, everybody would be rich. Unfortunately, everybody's not rich. You know why? It's because it's not that easy. Tesla can report good EPS, good revenue, good sales, and go down 30%. CPI can come in noticeably better than expected and negative in some categories and still go down from this report. Honestly, though, to be completely real, we were actually slightly green from the CPI report. So CPI showed up here. We are now here. So we're actually slightly green, but the point remains, variance is real. Nobody freaking knows what's going to happen. And it's just not that easy. If I could sit around waiting for CPI, like the real moves are happening prior to the report coming out. And really for the next few hours and days following the report. It's just not that easy. Based off of everything going on, it's just not that easy. And again, rookie traders think it is, and so they end up like attacking it and then losing and then complaining about it and acting like it's manipulation or something. It's really not. You just got to understand, it's not all consolidated to one point in time. The real buys and sells are happening prior and after the report. So let grandma be rich, dude. I'm for granny being rich, bro. In fact, I'm one of the top 3 most supportive people of grandma getting rich right now. At least they say that. And so listen, I'm for it. You know, I'm not an op for granny. I'm definitely not. You know, my daughter's 15. I'm gonna use her slang. No cap. I'm not an op for granny. Yeah, I don't think we have. Yeah, we don't have consumer sentiment today. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow we got consumer sentiment. We got PPI inflation, which is wholesale inflation. And consumer sentiment 10 a.m. tomorrow. Bond yields are going up. Right now, bond yields up to 4.35% right now, rising. Yeah, again, we'll see what happens. Market's basically flat from CPI. Hasn't really done much. We got bond yields going up to 4.35%. We got gold consolidating around highs. Very flat though from CPI. Usually we're definitely flatter than we normally are from this report. All right, guys. What if John's an AI video and we all think he's real? I am an AI video. And I am real. Okay? Top 3 realest people in the world right now. I'm a granny op. The boomers own everything. It's our time now. Listen, I get it. I get it. All right, so now we're technically green from this report. Waiting for the opening bell at 25 minutes. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. We're going to see if we can hold on to our green day right now. Can we hold on to our green day in markets, chat? Can we hold on? Do y'all think I'm ginger? My hair's not red, bro. Honestly, I had blonde hair when I was born. I guess it does kind of look a little red here, huh? Like, do I look Irish on this screen? Is that what it is? Am I Irish? I'm not Irish. I'm English and German and French and a bunch of other stuff too. But it does look a little orange on the stream. I'm sorry, guys. Top 3 least ginger traders in the world right now. Not gonna lie, thought you were Irish. My last name's London. I guess I could be Irish. All right, guys. Hey, we got 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Stay on, like, let's stay on track here. All right, get your minds out the gutter, guys. Like, this is Young John right here. I guess it does look a little orange, right? I don't know if this helps my not Irish case either. That's Young John. The most 90s picture ever, dude. Look at my shirt. Look at this shirt, bro. I even had like a little semi-mullet, too. Semi-mullet. Rocco's Modern Life type shirt. Most 90s picture ever. You can tell it's like early 90s, too. Look at that. The GOAT, right there. There he is. Yeah, I had to get that from my x.com page. All right, market's bouncing back here, just testing that 200 exponential moving average at 875s or so. Testing that level now. Do we continue back up, guys? Let me see. Starting to rebound from CPI inflation. Very flat, though. Very neutral. Sideways. Yeah, this is when GameStop was running. I posted a picture of Young John. Young Squire. And so it's got GameStop in the picture. I can't really edit it out. I'm sure AI could if I wanted to. Macaulay Culkin? I mean... I'm really Louisianian. I'm born in Louisiana, guys. All right, we're down to 1884s. Gold still heading up, trying. Yeah, we got PPI inflation data tomorrow. PPI inflation, which is wholesale inflation. It's kind of the other side of the inflation coin. PPI inflation. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to stream it live like we always do. University of Michigan consumer sentiment data as well. Do I buy this 18,820 level that we got on our charts right here? Do I buy it? I'm thinking about it. All right, guys. It's time to put the hat on, get serious in here, guys. We got to be serious here. All right. It's serious business today. Manipulation? Why? What do you think the people would be based on this? What? John looks like Seth Rogen? His laugh, bro. It's like, he's like goofy. I like Seth Rogen movies too, you know, but still, man. I don't know if I can see the Seth Rogen thing. I've heard Paul Felder a lot. I've heard like Forrest Griffin. I've heard all kind of stuff. I've heard Chris Kyle. I've heard Ryan Felipe and some, you know, but I've never really heard Wait, who did you say? I've never heard Macaulay Culkin before, and I've never really heard Seth Rogen either. So. All right, guys, so we're hitting this level, 18,878. Forrest Griffin one kind of hurt a little bit. I'm not even going to lie, you know. Sorry, I just clicked on this song. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just curious to listen to it, but I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's too much. Yeah, it's definitely too much. It was too hype in here for that. All right. Do I buy 18,820s? This is what I'm thinking out right now. We're very flat, though, leading into the opening bell. We're not really moving a lot. And I think the whole market's apprehensive waiting for the opening bell. So just be careful, guys. All right, so the White House economic advisor says that the president has a good relationship with China and President Xi, but there are no talks yet. Whoa, dude. All right, the Amazon CEO thinks sellers will pass the cost on to customers, in his opinion. All right, so here's that 18,820 level, guys. Am I going to regret not buying this level? I don't know. It's kind of breaking underneath it now. AI networking chip startup NI Systems raises $58 million. CPI data might be big yellow letters right here. You know, over in this area. Testing 820s here, guys. Testing 820s. We'll see if it holds. All right, guys, we got the opening bell coming soon here. Opening bell coming soon. Y'all be careful. All right, we're at 18,825s. We're green on the day. I think I'm just going to wait until the opening bell to trade, though. I typically do much better after the opening bell. Yeah, the only thing right now, though, is like a lot of analysts expect current. Let me use AI. Hold on. So I'm asking, what do analysts think quarter one GDP will be for 2025? All right, so analyst projections for U.S. GDP growth in the first quarter vary, reflecting economic uncertainties. Federal Reserve Bank of Philly survey of professional forecasters conducted in February anticipated 2.5% for quarter one. However, subsequent developments, particularly the implementation of tariffs in April, led to more conservative estimates. A CNBC survey of 14 economists suggested that GDP growth for quarter one could be as low as 0.3%, citing factors such as declining consumer and business sentiment and weakened consumer spending. Additionally, the Fed Bank of Atlanta's GDP Now model as of April 1st projected a contraction of 3.7% growth rate for the same period. These varying forecasts underscore challenges in predicting economic performance amid policy changes and external pressures, end quote. White House economic advisor Moran says president is buying time to create trade deals, according to CNBC. Yeah. All right, so the European Union has paused its tariffs on U.S. goods for 90 days and agrees to negotiate a new trade deal. Again, follow me on x.com at Beginner Trades. We're covering all this stuff live. Look at that 820 level. I'm regretful, guys. I'm regretful. I talked about it over and over again. Do I cry about this, though? Should I cry about this in chat? Let me know right now. I should have bought it, guys. I should have bought it. Hey, later, Rod. Have a good day, bro. Let the tears flow, King. I know, man. Listen. That was the level, bro. That was the move. 18,820. I got to respect my levels more. I talked about this earlier. My levels have been very, very nice so far today. I'm not even bragging. I'm just excited. And so I got to take more buys around those levels. All right, so Pantheon Macroeconomics says the US CPI data for March point to a 0.13% increase in the core PCE deflator, the smallest rise since November here. Listen to this. I'll put this up in chat. Look at this. All right, so there's the bounce back up to that 200 exponential moving average here. We got 10 minutes left until the market opens. Background removal of what? Oh. I use a green screen. Honestly, the background I have is honestly pretty cool. Like, you know, like just to get out the way. Top 3 nicest offices in the world right now. They say I live in my mom's basement, but if it is my mom's basement, it's a pretty nice basement, you know. That's all I'm saying. It flows of mahogany. All right. We got the opening bell in 10 minutes, chat. NASDAQ is pumping up a little bit over the 200 exponential now. Yeah, but I want you guys to be able to see bond yields, which are right here. That's the only reason I'm like, I would put the office up. I want you guys to see bond yields, though. That's the problem. I thought I lived on Thinkorswim and Toss, or in charts. Yeah, I mean, tentative is probably the right move right now. Who knows what we're going to get, man. The opening bell is almost here. Bond yields are now falling down a little bit here. Gold pushing up. NASDAQ pushing up some too. John's the real life Tron character. Honestly, the new Tron movie was good, bro. Like not the new one. This is like a 15-year-old movie. The one 15 years ago is good, man. I don't know why they don't bring those characters back. I want to see what happened. You know, why they feel the need to create a completely new movie goes against what people want, man. People want a sequel, not a remake. I don't know why, you know. All right, 7 minutes chat. Gold just broke highs of the day here. NASDAQ still bouncing up a little bit on this report. And this is, like, I want people to understand something here. And this is something that you need to understand with chat, right? And understand, like, the people that act this way are typically not the best. So, like, here's CPI. CPI showed up here, right? Originally, after CPI, everybody said, oh, you know, recession is saved. It's not the end of the world anymore. And then we fell back down, and then the short said, see, you know, people who went longer, idiots, you know. And then we bounced back, and they say, see, shorts that went longer, idiots. Like, the reality is nobody freaking knows if we're going to go up, down, or sideways. And the people that are usually the loudest about it, acting like it's definitively going to go one way or the other, are typically the most rookie traders. So try to ignore them. Understand there's a lot of variance. Nobody knows which way the market's going to go. Just try to be smart. At this point in time, we've gone up and down, pretty choppy from the CPI report. We're not really moving in some big, magnificent way from it. It's a little underwhelming of a reaction. We're slightly green from the report, so we're slightly bullish. But you got to learn to just tune the peanut section out, if that makes sense. Honestly, inflation data was pretty good news, honestly. If you want rate cuts to save us from a potentially weak economy and GDP, we need inflation to be manageable, and this is a more manageable inflation report. So, yeah, I'm married with kids. Like, I obviously don't live in my mom's basement. You know. All right, we're at 18.882s, 18.86. Leading into the opening bell today with chaos. Y'all be careful. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Can we break 160,000 subscribers? We're getting very close. Very close. All right, again, I'm going to read this article one more time, or this news catalyst. Pantheon Macroeconomics says U.S. CPI data for March point to a 0.13% increase in core PCE, the smallest rise since November. That's a good sign. That's an optimistic thing. PCE is what the Fed uses, core PCE specifically. And so if we're going to have the smallest rise in core PCE inflation since November, let me see what the rate cut odds are. Have they changed here? Yeah, so I mean, this did go up. So this morning was like 85 to 15. This has actually gone up a little bit. So now we're 21 to 79%. We got a 21% odds of a cut in May. So a 21% odds of a cut in May versus 79% odds of a pause right here. Still pretty probable that we're going to pause rates, but, you know, we got a lot of data to come out between then that might influence that decision. So this decision is going to be in about a month from now. About a month from now, it's going to be like May 7th, I believe, is what I remember correctly. May 7th. May 7th. So we'll see what that looks like. What program is? I'm looking at T and X. This is bond yields right here. T and X. This is 10-year Treasury yields, because this follows interest rates, right? Yields and interest rates. Again, one of the best correlations to understand is interest rates and what they have to do with bonds. Bond prices and bond yields inverse each other. So if bond prices are down, yields are usually up. Supply and demand. Interest rates and yields follow each other. They run parallel. So if yields are up, that means interest rate sentiment is higher. If yields are lower, it means interest rate sentiment is lower. Now we're down interest rate sentiment since yesterday, but we are up over the last few minutes here. All right, look at the market starting to turn here. We're basically at that flat level again at 18.8s, but we're seeing some red candles moving up. Tesla all the way down to 260s right now. These are just my own drawn support and resistance levels, to be honest. Low. Yeah, we had a little bit of deflation month to month for CPI. We came in at a negative number, which is good. Look at this big red candle. This has to be catalyst driven. Let me see if it is. White House says inflation is down, jobs are up, and the golden age of America is underway. All right, so Bank of England's Breeden says it's too early to say how all factors will combine. So I don't know why the market dropped. It looks like Tesla dropped, Microsoft dropped, Apple dropped, a couple things dropped. CPI came in better than expected. Here we go, guys. We got the opening bell in about 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Good luck. Again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of this stuff. I'm just kind of politically neutral. I'm reporting news that might influence markets here, guys. That's it. Remember, not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Not an investment professional. All right, guys. So here's the opening bell. Markets are looking a little red. Leading into the opening bell. Let's see what the markets do, though. I'm going to put Nvidia up here. And we're going to put Apple up here as well. All right, so since the opening bell, Apple's up a little bit. Nvidia's bouncing up a little bit as well. All right, so rebounding at the opening bell a little bit. Doesn't mean anything yet. This is very early, very early. All right, Fed's Logan says it is important to keep any tariff-related price increases from fostering more persistent inflation. If higher inflation expectations get entrenched, road to price stability is longer and economic scars are deeper. Fed's Logan just said this. Yeah, it's still too early to figure out which way we're going, even with this big bounce. And as I say this, look at this big turnaround. So yeah, I mean, this is just normal opening bell price swings. Just be careful. None of these candles mean anything yet, and we could obviously turn, which is kind of what we're doing now. As I say that, Tesla is falling down fast, though. Tesla at 257s. I might short, but we're still a little close to the opening bell to short. CNBC's favors making cautious comments on data centers right now. Very tight range. If I had to pick a direction, though, it'd probably be on the downside today based off of all the upward swings we did yesterday, just in terms of balance. But again, I'm not saying that's what we do. I'm not an investment professional. I really have no idea. But I would assume we're going to drop a little bit just for balance today. That might be off. Doesn't mean we're not going to keep going up. And maybe honestly, Apple's kind of ripping up. It's at 192s right now. 192s. We got a tight opening range. Is one thing I do see here. A very tight opening range. Yeah, I got a buy and hold account. Yeah, Tesla rebounding back up at 262s. Very tight opening range. Markets are trying to rebound back up. Yeah, I haven't really seen anything I like here, although I do see some upward swings. Let's see if I can buy this. I gotta be very careful. We are at the opening bell here, guys. Two contracts, but there we go. Take half off there just to protect it. It's a big retracement. There we go. Don't do it to me. One micro, dude, is just so volatile right now. Look at one micro contract here. Oof, gotta cut it. All right, so now we're slightly down on this account, but not much. There's a point in time I could have gotten out of that trade where we would have been green, but dude, honestly, look at Nvidia turn. We'll see if we can find our space. Like, look at Nvidia here. So Nvidia turned. Apple still looks okay though. Very volatile price swings. Look at that green action here. Wow. I think the only real way to do this with all these swings is to wait and add to winning positions. It's the only thing I can really think about doing here. Such a tight range. I don't know what the market's waiting on. We don't really have any economic reports either. You got to just remember, though, Logan is speaking. Or he might be done speaking right now. But look at this volatility, man. Sheesh. Wow. Wow. There's a brutal red action here. I'm going to try shorting one contract here, just one. I'm very nervous about it too, but one contract seems fine. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get out there, lock that in. Very small. Could have held it a little bit longer, but the volatility's drastic. Bond yields are decreasing fast too. We're right at the cusp of these lows, but it doesn't mean much yet. Look at the swings. Look at these swings, guys. The opening bell. I don't even know if I can trade right now, dude. Look at this swing up. We are so flat right now in range, chat. So flat. Just be careful, guys. One micro can get far too. So I'm losing a little bit on this account for sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Ugh. I gotta just wait. All right, so the president posted inflation is down. Look, I gotta wait. I'm gonna switch accounts. I don't want to lose too much in this account. We'll go back up to here. I could have stayed shorting it, but see if we can fish out of this, but such a flat open here, guys, so y'all just be very careful. All right, so we actually did get ourselves green on this account that we were just trading. It's been a volatile part of the day, though. I'll show you the account. We're not up much, but we're up nonetheless. Finally getting a breakdown of this range. I'm trying to honestly attack it, but it's been so volatile here. Back and no, I wouldn't even say volatile. It's rangy. Let's see if we break down. Yeah, you can kind of see we made the money back here. You can kind of see the string of trades we had, but still a little back and forth here. Very choppy and rangy right now, guys. I'm gonna buy this dip, but it's turning on me quick here. Let's see if we can rebound back up. Very risky. Yeah, we gotta cut it. So we're flat on this account. We just haven't really gotten too much from it. We broke that opening range here. I'm gonna go try to bet on the upside. I'm trying to catch an uptick here, but it's harder. And again, we've been on a 7-day green streak, guys, a 7-day green streak. I think the only thing we can do is try to attack the chop. If we break this low, we're gonna have to cut it. Yeah, we gotta get out. We'll probably sit out on this account for the rest of the day and then switch to a different account. I don't know. Try this one though, maybe, but I'm trying not to give too much losses in any of my accounts here. Market's so volatile. Especially today. All right, there's the bounce we caught. Yeah, but been kind of buying small dips, going back and forth, but choppy. My idea would have worked here, buying this pullback and riding the bounce back up, but we kind of broke down first. All right, so we just got another little trade. I guess I'll show you my main account trades, but again, we're green, but I could end it today green, but the volatility, man, I don't know whether it's good volatility or bad. I kind of want to attack chop, but I'm kind of going back and forth. Here's my trading all day today. So you can see we're mostly green, and we are green in this account, but we had a few big losses here that we had to fight our way back from. At this point in time, we broke the opening range, but it's been so choppy back and forth that I'm not really confident in anything here. How are you guys doing? Are you guys red or green today? And again, if you want to help support the channel, check out Top Step. Top Step gives you a 50K demo for the base one. It's 49 bucks a month. Teaches you how to trade under pressure, teaches you how to follow rules, lets you risk something, but if you fail, it's not the end of the world versus funding your own account. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit in the futures market without losing 2K first, day trading futures, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. Prior to that split kicking in, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. If you fail, you're out 50 bucks. So it's limited risk, similar reward to funding your own account, to be honest. No PDT in futures. Get you around the PDT rule if you want to trade futures. Great way to learn how to day trade, and teaches you how to trade. And if you fail, they give you a practice account with real-time data to practice on anyway. If you pass it, 50K funded account, 90% split. And just a great way to learn. Most day traders lose. They've paid out almost $200 million. And if you use the same platform as me, this is Top Step X, 0 commission. They are an affiliate of mine, though. I am biased because I get paid by them. Some would say I'm the top 3 most biased ever. If you want to check them out, though, here's the link. Understand all this stuff on screen. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Whoa, 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 whoa. We just got a gap up here. Link is in the chat right there. But look at this gap up. That's strange. Did something happen? Or is this just a freeze in the platform? Okay, yeah. Yeah, looks like it froze for a second. Y'all be careful. Y'all be careful. Such a choppy range right now, guys. Such a choppy range. Dude, my neighbor's little dog is out, bro. I swear, their little dog runs up to the fence, challenges my 2 German Shepherds. When my German Shepherds respond by barking back at the little dog, they act victimized from it. I swear, bro. All right, guys, we tapped my 820 level. 820 level. Look at this 820 level. We tapped it, though. We did tap my 820 level. Look at NVIDIA coming back down. I'm going to short. This is so volatile, guys. NVIDIA's coming down, though. That's what I'm trying to short here. But I'll add to it. I'm going to immediately remove one of my size here. Okay, let's see if we can profit from this. But, man. We are back and forth today, guys. Back and forth. Tap my level again. I gotta cut it. Yeah, now we're down on the day. Honestly, very difficult to make money. We're gonna switch again just because we can. Look at Apple. Apple rising here, guys. Apple up to 195s. That's what's dragging us up. I swear one micro contract moves like an E-mini right now, dude. It really does. Yeah, one micro contract moves like a mini contract right now, dude. See if we go down now, but man, there we go. All right, so we've been shorting, but we got ourselves back to green. But honestly, I think I got to put my hands off here. Like, look, like, so here's my trading on this account, right? Like, here's my trading on this account. We are on our, let me see, how many green days is this? Like, to show you why I'm being even more apprehensive today, especially with the chop. Like, here's our trading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days in a row on this account. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're 12 for 14 green days. I just don't want to give that back, and it's really difficult to trade this, in all honesty. Very difficult to trade. Not an easy thing to trade at all. I need to learn Python and coding. Yeah, I mean, coding takes advantage of a lot of different stuff, but you can have AI code stuff for you. Look at this big surge back up here, guys. Coding has to do with like 4 different subsets of logic. Boolean, which is true false. Conditional statements, like if x equals 5, 2 plus x equals what? 7, would be the answer. That's called conditional statements. Object-oriented programming, which has to do with labels and different kind of like structures. Functional programming, which you build different functions and then use those functions around different things. Like you got to learn those subsets of logic, and then you basically have to learn the syntax of each language. Python's very literal syntax, like it's very literal. You essentially end up like speaking literally into how to do things. I know like JavaScript. I'm like a front end developer, so I know like JavaScript, React Native, which less literal for sure. A little bit more difficult syntax versus like Python. But now there's all these other languages coming out. But every language basically revolves around some of like most of those principles and logic. Hello? All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, wife called, or was it my mom? All right, we are now down a little bit. Very sideways, very rangy though. Bank of England's breeding on the postponement of the Bank of England's long-dated gilt auction says this was a technical decision, not a monetary policy stance. Yeah, when I learned like some good resources for programming, Team Treehouse, very useful. There's another one that I use that was actually really useful in helping. I learned years and years and years ago. But honestly, AI can do a lot of that stuff now. All right, so look at this red action showing up. Nvidia falling down to its at 108.50s. It's definitely looking weaker. Let's see if Nvidia holds this 108.25 level down here. All right, so we're starting to flush down. Tesla creeping down here. Where's Meta at? Meta's at 560s. That's a big percentage drop. Yeah, red action showing up. But again, Apple's still very green on the day. Or is it green on the day? Let me see. Yeah, Apple's green. All right, so here's twos. Look at this level. Level held. Nvidia did bounce at this level here. Look at this. 108.25. This level held too. 18.7. Retracing pretty quickly though off of this level though. Look at that. Just gotta learn to build structure around some of these. Tesla's was falling down this morning. Down to 255s. Now we're breaking down. Let's see if now we're on the retest of 18.7s. Looks like it's gonna break. Nvidia broke down under 108s here. Look at that break. Still falling down, chat, falling down. I got myself green on the day, and I'm trying to sit tight here. S&P is down pretty significantly on the day too. Let me see. Yeah. Tesla 254 is still falling down. This is Tesla dragging us down. Nvidia down too. Bowman about to speak. She might be speaking right now. Look at this pop. Look at the retracement down too. Look at that. All right, look at this red action showing up still, guys. Still falling now. Apple pretty green though. I'm gonna try to buy this. It's definitely sketchy. Don't copy me, chat. Please don't copy me. What a dip to buy here, guys. I should have never done it. I don't know what just happened, but that was a huge freaking candle. Yeah, I'm done trading most likely today. Fed Schmid voter 2025 voter tariff announcement as elevated economic uncertainty coincided. I'm pretty flat though. Like we're down on one, green on the other. So like, are we happy about losing? How much did we just lose? $100? No, but we'll be all right. We're green in the other account, and so we'll be all right. Look at this big brutal action. I'm gonna try to buy it. Wait. All right, I'm out. Whew. Still testing these lows down here. We got a little rebound here. We got a small bounce. As long as we don't retrace, we should be okay. You never freaking know, though. We could retrace quick. All right, somehow, guys, we brought ourselves back to green on that account. Somehow. Let me show you. We are green on this account somehow. Buying the dip. Stubborn, but... yeah. Again, somehow we got ourselves green. Wild day. Definitely momentum's on the red side, though, so I'm not going to buy anything else, I think. But sheesh, dude. That might change. All right, guys, remember, tomorrow we got PPI inflation data, producer prices tomorrow. Remember, a lot of Fed members speaking today, too. Yeah, just be careful, guys. Just freaking be careful right now, man. Market is chaotic. Up huge percentages yesterday. Could freaking do anything. Y'all just be very, 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 very careful. Okay. Hope you guys understand. Be safe. If you want to check out Top Step, day trade with me. I'll put the link up one more time. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold. And again, if you want to learn to day trade, do not risk your own money in the beginning. Almost all day traders lose. It doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders are about to lose. And so try something like Top Step because there's no PDT rule. They give you a 50K demo. If you pass the test, make 3K in profit without losing 2K. First, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. If you fail, you only lose the $50 you pay for it. It's a limited amount of risk. If you pass it, very similar reward to funding your own account, much less risk generally. There's always outliers. You could always lose more, but it's much more rare, I think. But if you want to check them out, great way to help support the channel. They paid out almost $200 million. Link is in the description. Check it out. Y'all be safe, man. Y'all be safe. I don't know what the market's going to do. No idea where the market's going to go. Could get choppiness. Could get more breakdowns. Y'all be safe. I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Tomorrow, PPI inflation. We have PPI inflation data tomorrow. It is the wholesale inflation, the other side of the CPI inflation coin, and it drops tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We also have what's called the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report tomorrow, 10 a.m. They give inflation expectations for this as well. Tomorrow we also have Susan Collins, John Williams, and more speaking. Be ready, Chad, be ready. Very busy day. We'll stream it all live as it happens. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Be safe in this market.